at this very moment, we're battling to keep Monsanto's genetically modified sweet corn out of our grocery stores. This is Monsanto's first genetically modified food for direct human consumption. It hasn't been tested for food safety, and it won't be labeled.
I guess we're all here for the same reason, which is because we want these things labeled.
Between January 1999 and June 2010, Monsanto spent over $53 million on lobbying and campaign contributions. And as we've seen time and time again, the agencies overseeing our food system, the Food and Drug Administration, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the Environmental Protection Agency, fall short. And we have an administration in the White House that has accelerated the approval of genetically modified foods.
We're here today to tell you that Monsanto, who claims to be an agricultural company, no, they are a chemical company, are injecting their genetically modified seeds with pesticides, the same pesticides that make up the chemical compound of Agent Orange.
They're spreading their poison. They're spreading it all over the world, not in just the United States. You know, here our farming system is trashed. You know, people are, getting out of farming as quick as they might have come into it.
Those small farmers naturally had a commitment of necessity to the land and to their community. But guess what? Wall Street hates small farmers.
Yeah, not surprising.
They can't make any money from them. Which is exactly why the system is now so heavily rigged in favor of large, anonymous, disconnected corporate agriculture.
I didn't realize that there was, Kellogg's cereal and General Mills and all these major brands have genetically engineered ingredients in them. It's crept in because our FDA is not doing their job. And it's crept in because Monsanto is, and Syngenta and Bayer and all those other biochemical corporations, they're lobbying.
At the Ant Hill Farm, we try to keep our practices in line with and better than the organic practices that most people understand. We're not certified organic at our farm, but you can take our word for it that we put our hearts into our food, and we don't grow it with pesticides that come from these massive corporations, and we don't grow it with inorganic fertilizers, and we sure as hell don't use GMOs up in our food. No, our food is nutritious, and we put a lot into it. We use manure. We use stuff that comes out of cows, but we use manure that comes from cows that aren't pumped up with growth hormones. So we work with our dairy farmers and trying to educate them to not use growth hormones so that we can drink their milk. And then we can drink it raw and unpasteurized too. So let's, raw milk too. And we also use green manure. We use practices where we grow cover crops and then rotate that into our soil. And that nourishes the soil. Our practices are about building up soil so that it gives the vegetables more nutrients. What Monsanto's doing is basically making food not food, we have and they're calling it traditional agriculture. Get that? They've capitalized on the word traditional. Fuck, excuse me, screw that. We are the traditional farmers here. What these big corporate agriculture, these big farmers who are growing monocultures, that's not farming, Let's just not even call it farming. Let's call it, slavery, They're enslaving plants, they're enslaving animals, and they're enslaving farmers to sit on these big tractors and spray pesticides on things.
The dice are loaded in favor of huge food producers that have no interest in the community or in the land or in you, or in anything at all except profit.
The chemical compound of Agent Orange is still being used, as I said earlier, in pesticides, plastics, solvents, detergents, cosmetics, bleached paper products, tampons, white coffee filters. With each use, you're putting it in your body.
If other farmers in our nearby are growing genetically modified crops, they could cross-pollinate with our crops and contaminate them, making our seed unviable so that we can't save it and we can't plant it. Luckily right now we don't have neighbors growing corn within a mile of us, but you know, if they were and we were growing corn, then we wouldn't be able to use that corn seed. And we wouldn't be able to call our, make the statement that we're, certified natural.
Genetic engineering means every day is Halloween. Yay! Some of the Halloween creations that we've spoken about today are genetically engineered corn. That's corn that's insecticide resistant, which means that the toxin from the Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria is literally implanted, thank you, into the corn embryo, and that toxin then manifests itself in every cell of that, thanks a lot, of that corn that you could very well be eating, which now the bioengineers want to market to us. In the past, only the animals have been fed this corn. We also see the introduction or the attempted introduction of genetically engineered salmon. This is probably especially scary since it's the first animal that has been attempted to be commercialized. Fortunately, thus far, Congress has prevented the FDA from moving forward on this application by a Canadian firm, AquaBounty.
We can't even get it up for a vote in Congress. We can't even get up for a vote in New York State. It is in California. There's a ballot initiative, hopefully on the ballot in California.
Ballot initiative?
There is apparently, I just noticed that there is a bill in New York State. I didn't know that. They really want to control the entire world. But you can still choose non-corporate food. Make that choice. Cook at home or eat at farm-to-table restaurants. Shop at health food stores.
If there were more farmers like me and my partner Sky and the wonderful people who work at my farm and in my community to bring people food, then we wouldn't have to worry about getting our food from the grocery store so much. We could have co-ops and grocery stores selling local food. But right now, there's only a few of us, and we need more people to join us, and we need people in the city to grow their food, and we need people to repopulate the country and take over these dying farms. There's farmland, there's land available, and it's crumbling, it's going to waste. And, we need to get up the gumption to go out and cultivate it. Because right now, where's your food coming from most of the time? It's coming from California, it's coming from the Midwest. Half the time you don't know where it's coming from. It says USA, it says Argentina, it says Mexico. But who is your farmer? You need to think about who's your farmer. Be your own farmer, garden.
You are all very smart people. You're a very smart, small part of the population that realizes what's going on and is out here today trying to make a difference. So you should all be proud of yourselves. Give yourself a round of applause.
It is not on NPR. It's not in the New Yorker. All these nice, smart, concerned, friendly people are not telling you this information, which makes it hard to get it over to your friends and your family because they feel like if it's so bad, if what you're saying is so bad, I would know about it. But no, information is very tightly controlled in this country. So it's up to you with your mouth and your brain. You can research it on the internet and in books and learn about it. The situation is very bad with genetically modified food.
Let's go after the board of directors.
And pesticides. We're going to go after the board of directors of Monsanto. We're going to start publishing their names and bring this down to a personal level. And we can occupy their homes.